TAQ Capital, technical analysis quickly.
This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Before taking any action based on the information provided on this channel, it is recommended that you seek the advice of a professional licensed financial advisor.
Let's do this.
I just wanted to hop on here for a quick second and make a video about what's going on here. We've got, the peak at the 1609 that I saw coming, but we've now clearly shot up way past that to 1629. So the question, I guess, becomes, where the heck did that freaking number come from? And I did not see this one coming at all. But if you look at this, the Fibonacci Retracement tool here, I drew from here to here as 1. So first off, if you go from here to here as 1, the second hit here should be here, which happened over here. So you've got to eliminate this one as 2. This becomes the second run. So from the bottom out here, which is the lowest part of the retracement, this becomes the beginning of 2, which went like this. And that's the peak of 2, and then came crashing down. This was that rare third that I told you about. Again, when I was talking, made my video earlier, I thought this was the third, but now we've got a double spike again. So our first one, arguably you could say, is a double spike. So it went like that, and then back up. So there's 1, and then 2 begins here, like that. And then 3 begins here, actually right there. So that's what's going on. So now if you measure from the bottom to 2, this takes you right up to 1628.88. And if you draw it across, it just came up, tapped it, and came back down again. So that's where that came from. So paying attention, like really tearing these charts apart, which somehow this one got by me. This measurement gives you this peak, and then this measurement from here to there, that angle, gives you this peak. So now this is going to be that retracement below the blue to the 1536. That's because, you've got this blue wedge here that needs to be completed by it coming out. You've got this green wedge here that needs to be completed by coming out the bottom. You've got this wedge here, the orange. I'll explain that green line here in a second. This orange wedge like that. This one went 1, 2, 3, and then, oh, sorry, no, that's right, that's not the third anymore. First hit, second hit, third hit, and then we're going to do fourth and out. So this one is going to take us down, which will reset the pink. Now the down might only just be to here. And then we should be going up to that 1720 mark. This orange wedge is in a bigger blue wedge. I'll zoom out. So the blue wedge started up here at the peak of the June 18th run, and then came down and has now gone over. And now we're waiting for something to happen like this. But this can come down, instead of this being the peak, which I don't think it is. I think it's going to be further up here. You're going to do from here to there. This could be like this little jump down before you come back up here to the 1720. So this line will actually end up coming straight across, and then we'll be working on our way down. In the middle of that, you've got this wedge here that's doing this. You can look at this a little differently, like this. You could take this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to do that dip down here like this, and then break out, and that's going to take us to the 720 and then back down. So this should begin this retracement here. What I'm seeing here is bearish divergence. So we've got this peak that correlates with this peak, and this peak that correlates with this peak. And this is lower than this in price, but you can see it's higher than this on the RSI. So this indicates a downturn. Now a downturn always has a bounce back because it zigzags. So here's the beginning of the downturn. this sets the other side of the line, the channel we are now going to form, like something along these lines. So now it's going to zigzag down to this, and then it's going to come back up. So there would be our 1, 2, 3, 4 breakout. And then we'll go up to the 1720 mark and then come back down. That's what I'm anticipating anyway. But now if we take this from here to here as our first run instead of this, then we're actually going to be looking at more like 1790. So we'd want to switch this up and bring it right up here to, I mean, this says 1791. I can edit the coordinates here, but I mean, it's ballpark around that number anyway. It's not dead on the money. And if we include this little pullback here down to here, our percentage we'll be looking at is roughly 17%, 16.69. And briefly, before I take off here, I just want to show you this. If we jump to the daily, the daily just updated, and we went more straight out on the Kijun and straight out on the Tenkin. So the space is still the same size. We're not really doing the scoop because I don't think we're there yet, because I think we're doing this pullback down to the 1536, which is the Tenkin, before we go back up, and then we're going to begin the scoop up to here, where I think the Tenkin will meet this, but the candle will meet the 1790 mark. Also, as I jump down the time frames here, the 20-hour just kicked over on the Tenkin. The 16-hour stood up, opening this mouth, further evidence that we should be pulling those candles down. The 12-hour also just stood up. The 11-hour, well, the last two 11 hours we popped up for a second and then came straight over, creating a larger space here, again indicating we should be pulling down. The 10-hour, same. 9-hour, same. 8-hour, same. But the thing to pay attention to is the fact that the Kijun is not moving. So down here, this is holding strong at the 1536, which means these have to come back down. So once this resets, I think we're then going back up. Now I'm changing it to 1790 from 1720. But that's it for me, guys. Thanks again for watching. And if anything else crazy like this happens, I'll hop on here and handle that. But remember, as we go back down here, we're going to be doing it in zigzag formation. So the channel that's forming here is coming straight down here. So we came down here, here, and we're going to come back down one more time and then break back up and out. And don't forget to look at the macro view. I think sometimes I get caught up in the micro view doing these scalp trades and stuff. But if we zoom out, we get into the 16-hour, 20-hour, and so on, and you see these bigger wedges forming where we have the orange hit, and then hit here. Now we're going to do that bounce, which is nice. Lines up perfectly with what we're talking about before we head up to the 1791. But I'm going to sign off now. Have a great night, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, probably tomorrow.